During COVID-19, the numbers of patients needing and potentially needing ventilated oxygen supply were increasing. We were seeing that other hospitals were having an increased demand in their oxygen, and we wanted to ensure that we assessed the risk that that may mean to us and that we put in place measures to manage those risks.
So we wanted to understand how many patients would actually need oxygen, and then what we would need to do to maybe adapt the way that we distribute the oxygen to get the most out of it. We began to carry out our own tests to see how the impact of using higher rates of oxygen in different wards in different parts of the hospital would affect the overall system, and then we started to look at the individual wards to see how they used oxygen at their level.
The IFM team that was involved in the project mainly consisted of graduate students that were unable to return home when the first COVID-19 wave hit. So what we actually did in the early days was understanding the system, understanding the infrastructure, and understanding oxygen systems in general. And after that, we looked at how to improve the visibility of the oxygen usage. So looking at non-invasive technologies was one of the early things we did, and with the help of academics from the university who are specialists in flow dynamics, we were able to find technologies and suppliers that could reliably monitor the oxygen usage live.
As a result of working with IFM, we installed ultrasonic flow meters on the oxygen system. This allowed us to see at any given point what value of oxygen we were actually using within the site, and it also meant that it gave us warnings if we knew we were getting close to our limit, and we could react in a lot quicker time.
The clinical and estates teams better understood the issues around bottlenecks of patients and oxygen use in the wards, so that we could better manage the locations of patients within those wards. And also we were able to forecast the demands for patients and beds and the effect of that on our infrastructure.
So the project highlighted how critical a safe and resilient estate is for hospital operations. And with that, how crucial the role of estates and facility teams is in hospitals.
It was really refreshing to work with the students from a manufacturing background as well, because it casts a different light on the way that we do things. We're trained in a certain way, and seeing them bring different approaches and styles to these problems was really great, and it helped us think about the way that we do things in the future as well.
In terms of planning for future pandemics and emergencies, we're in a much stronger and more robust place in terms of our understanding of our oxygen infrastructure and our building that into our business continuity planning and also into future projects.
Since the COVID-19 pandemic, the adaptations to the oxygen system in Addenbrooke mean they could support a lot more patients, so they could actually split their oxygen rings and have two separate systems running now, which wasn't possible before the pandemic. So if further pandemics now happened, they would be able to support a lot more patients, as well as understanding their system and having live visibility of their system capacity as well.
The Institute for Manufacturing brought in a valuable extra resource and a new perspective that was able to help the Addenbrooke estates teams at a time when it was hugely stretched by the impacts of COVID, and enabled us to review the oxygen infrastructure in a much more comprehensive way than we'd been able to if they weren't supporting us.